Clint is a coach who coaches coaches. You're going to coach the coach who coaches coaches. On the next time someone he's traveling and someone in the baseball industry says, please help, don't tell anyone.
Just show you this book, Clint, because I don't know if you've seen this one. You've seen Every Man's Battle, but this is my latest book. It's called Battle On, Battle Over. Some triggers of sexual sin are actually non-sexual.
This is fascinating.
Have you ever heard any of your players talk about that, Clint, where they feel like the time where it's the biggest weakness for them is after they've had a rotten game, not a good one, for instance?
Yes, I've got one player it's ongoing, and I've got a former player, very good friend, that's ongoing. What are the non-sexual triggers? I'm fascinated.
Father wounds, financial stress. This is very common. Clint, when you really look at what an orgasm does in a man's heart, it actually literally provides the feeling of false intimacy and false connection, but it's a genuine draw to a guy who feels lonely, disconnected, in pain. An orgasm can really be a draw when a guy is feeling worse about himself. Financial stress, there's nothing sexual about that, right? I mean, it's not a sexual trigger.
That makes a lot of sense, and there's so much commonality, with the addictive of what happens.
I would be fascinated, Clint, after you read the first couple chapters of Battle On, Battle Over. I would be fascinated to have another conversation with you, because I'd like to see how you would compare your alcoholism with this addiction. And I'll bet you there's a ton of non-sexual triggers when it comes to alcoholism as well.
There are. The challenge I would always have with my alcohol addiction, if I didn't win the game on the field, I needed to win the game after the game.
Yes.
I had to find a win somewhere. And it's so sad that the win would come down to getting hammered or watching porn to numb themselves temporarily, because there is a temporary satisfaction. Okay, you don't feel all that angst, you don't feel the anxiety, you don't feel the loser mentality until it wears off and you're right back where you started from, the worst.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That was really good, Clint. And that is the basis of the non-sexual trigger. You're looking for a win. You had the loss in the day. Now you're looking for a win, something to make you feel good about yourself. And I really do feel like that's the concept behind it. And I didn't figure I would talk about it for very long before you knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah,
this is crazy. It's a God wink as well, because God, through Phil, connected us.
Yes.
Had this master plan that God's put in his lap for a while. There's no doubt. I've been reading from Nancy. He's been, the things he's been sending out. I knew he set me up. I knew he had an ambush here somewhere.
Yes.
And the last thing I thought I would be talking about this afternoon in Spokane, Washington, was masturbation and porn.
Yes.
With an expert. And I can't wait to call my wife tomorrow and say, honey, I did one a podcast. And she'll say, okay, which ball player did you talk to? And I go, haha. Guess what I got beaten down.